So you can see we've got a Bristan bath tap that's leaking. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to shut the water off so that we can take the taps apart. So take the side panel off. You can see this is the mixer, the hot and the cold. That varies the temperature of your hot tap. And at the back here, you'll see there's two valves, one for hot, one for cold. So we need to get a flat screwdriver into there and turn them 90 degrees so that they are going horizontal, and that will turn the water off to both of the taps, so we can then take the taps apart. Now that our taps are off, we can take the top off them. So this is a little plastic cap. Just carefully take it off with a screwdriver. It's just pushed in place. And inside, use an Allen key to fit into the fitting and unscrew it. Don't unscrew it all the way. What you're doing is loosening the grip, and there you can see we've now exposed the cartridge itself. So do the same thing on both sides because you need to replace both. So to remove the cartridge, you need to use, I've used an adjustable spanner. If you've got a large enough socket, you can do that. They are on quite tight, so make sure that you're securing the tap as well so you don't damage any of it. And by removing the cartridge, you can hear the problem. There's a buildup of limescale, and this is the issue with these taps. They do get damaged and eaten away by limescale, and that's why they start dripping. So you can see the limescale as the white deposits on the cartridge. If the limescale's not too bad, you might be lucky. You might be able to do this trick, which is putting them into a strong vinegar so that it tries to dissolve some of the limescale off. It may work, it does prolong it a little bit, but it won't solve the problem long term. Just an extra bit of useful information. The top of the tap, or the tap head itself, unscrews on these, and you can also dissolve some of the limescale off by undoing that and dropping it in the vinegar solution. It's worth doing every now and again on all of your taps, especially if you're in an area like us with very hard water. What I've also done is used a little bit of abrasive material. Now this is one of the sponges with an abrasive side cut up, and used that to clean the tap interior to try and get rid of all of the limescale that was left in there, just to clean it all up and make it as clean and good for the next piece to go in. I want to say a little bit about ordering the replacement cartridges. There are so many different types. It is useful to take the cartridge out and to measure the dimensions carefully. Measure the diameter, measure the distance of the head where the white section is at the top there that goes into your tap, and make sure the dimensions of the one that you replace it with are identical. Now I will put the one that I used in the link below so you can see for this type of Bristan tap in case yours is the same, but I stress again, you must measure them because there are so many different tap cartridges out there. It's difficult to make an assumption that certain Bristan taps will have this cartridge. So do check, but then you want to order a replacement, and you normally buy them in pairs, one with the red cap, one with the blue cap for the hot and the cold. The reason you cannot swap them is because of the turning that you do on the tap. So one goes clockwise and anti-clockwise and goes 90 degrees. Obviously they turn opposite ways on a bath, so you need to make sure that you buy the red to replace the hot, blue to replace the cold. So you'll notice in our case there's the white cap. Now that's quite common. That is specific to these taps, and all you do is prise it off the old one and fit it onto the new one. Now the new one does have a screw cap on there. Just take the screw off and it'll slide onto the splines quite nicely. Now what you do want to do here is line up the dimple. That little dimple is where the Allen key screws into, so you want to put that in the same angle position as it was on the old one. Now that you've done that, replace it back on the tap and fasten it into place. What you may find is now your white spline is in the wrong position, so take it off and realign it for the correct place for when the tap is either on or off. On this side you'll see that there's a little bit of rattle going on, and that's because it's not fastening properly with the plastic onto the spline, so it's not a tight fit. What you can do is you can use some PTFT, which is plumber's tape, thread tape, around it to make it a snug fit. You can see it still has the splines poking through, but it just gives an additional bit of grip which will stop that rattle that you saw in the tap. Just apply as much or as little as you need. Just if it's not enough, take it off and apply some more. Now that we're all done, turn the water back on again 90 degrees, so it is up and down, and make sure there's no leaks. Hopefully you won't have any leaks, the taps will be working, and you'll have solved your problem. If so, pop a comment down below, let me know how you got on. If you've got any questions as well, put them in the comments, and please remember to subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out, as many people subscribing to the channel as possible and giving me a thumbs up as well. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.